Hello, church family. I really thought I'd be done giving these updates by now, but apparently another level of government wants to get involved in the COVID pandemic. The City of Edmonton has clarified its hastily prepared bylaw regarding mandatory mask wearing in public spaces. The part pertaining to churches reads as follows. Do face coverings need to be worn in places of worship? Places of worship are included in the bylaws as they are enclosed buildings that have members of the public have access to. Those attending places of worship are permitted to temporarily remove their face coverings for eating or drinking, such as to receive communion. With regards to staged areas in places of worship, if the space is only accessible to those who are leading worship or preaching, then you have implemented physical barriers or distancing practices between every person that will not be wearing a face covering or any other person. Face coverings may be removed in this area. However, if these physical controls are not in place, face coverings will be required. This bylaw is in effect until December 31st, 2020, and a $100 fine can be issued for those who are non-compliant. So to summarize, the City of Edmonton expects everyone who is not exempt to wear a face covering while in public indoor spaces. However, provision has been made for people on the stage who are leading worship or speaking not to actually have to wear a mask as long as they are physically distancing from others. Now, despite what our mayor stated, I believe that there are detrimental consequences to wearing a mask for prolonged periods of time. And to mitigate this, we are reducing the length of our Sunday morning service by 25%. We will still start at 10 a.m., but removing some of the aspects of our service and shortening others, we plan to be done by 11:30. Now, after the service, we encourage people to socialize outside the building where they can remove their mask, but still maintain physical distancing, weather permitting, of course. Now, I'm not going to comment on whether this bylaw is right or wrong, because I see a much bigger spiritual issue. Yes, I acknowledge that this bylaw is intended to protect people from the spread of COVID. That is natural reasoning. But I believe that there are some deeper supernatural origins to this whole thing we have before us. Forced to wear a mask, although on the surface may appear to be about safety, it has a much deeper spiritual intent. The word that God gave me, that this is another effort of the enemy to bring division within the church. As I prophesied at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, one of the primary purposes of this demonic weapon was that the church would be isolated from one another. Fear and economic turmoil were the other two. That's what the enemy wanted to do, to cause fear, cause isolation, and increase poverty. I'm still kind of wondering why God never included death as part of that. Still trying to figure that out. I don't know why. But now that isolation is coming to an end, the true intent of the weapon has come to light. Isolation was to prepare for division. The enemy not only wants to isolate, but he intends to isolate with the purpose of dividing. Jesus warned us in Luke chapter 11, every kingdom divided against itself is laid waste, and a divided household fails. The spiritual implication of this mask bylaw goes much deeper than simple public health. I see two opposing camps of people on this issue. One, believe that everyone should have to wear a mask in public. And two, the second group is that no one should be forced to wear a mask if they don't want to. So let me ask you this question. Actually, two questions. If you're someone who doesn't want to wear a mask, what do you think about those who do want to wear a mask, or think everyone should wear a mask? Now, if you're somebody who does wear a mask, what do you think about those who don't want to wear a mask? You see, your answer to these two questions, in either case, if you have a response, this could show that you have fallen for the trap of the enemy, that you have let yourself become divided through your belief. Now, I'm not going to say you should wear a mask or not. Our city has already made that decision for us, rightly or wrongly. We will see in the next few weeks if wearing a mask was the right call. But what I am saying is we cannot allow this to bring division amongst us. If you're someone who thinks people should wear a mask, that's your opinion, and the municipal government agrees with you. Do not force that opinion on other people. If you're somebody who thinks that wearing a mask is useless, well, don't put other people down who think wearing a mask is a good idea. If you look throughout the world right now, throughout our culture, it is easy to see that there is an unholy spirit of division that is at work. And it's not just in our area, it's around the world. There is a massive attempt of the enemy to bring division to humanity, whether it's through the color of people's skin, or the economic beliefs, or the governmental systems, or it's in the belief of whether or not you should wear a mask. But Paul tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, he passionately says, I appeal to you, brothers, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that all of you agree, and that there be no division amongst you, that you will be united in the same mind and in the same judgment. The challenge I have for you is this. Is not whether you believe people should or should not wear a mask. Don't let that become a division between you and other people. It is imperative during this time, or any other time, that we do not allow division to become part of the church. Ideas outside of the realm of biblical teaching should never be allowed to divide us. But rather, we must be the ones who bring unity to this broken world.